22nd, I think. It'll be 4 o'clock. And Daniel, I hope will be on.
I hope so too.
I'm looking to see where I can get the most people. Probably up here.
We're gonna get you in the picture too.
And I guessed it would probably be here.
Okay.
4 o'clock, I'm going to call the meeting of Urban Renewal to order. We will have roll call.
Ayala, Bennett, Caulfield, Harrison, Horton,
Yes, yes, Cynthia.
Madrid.
Madrid.
Oh, present.
Monroy,
Present.
Roberson,
Present.
Swiker.
Present.
Okay, do we have any citizens' participation? Minutes of the previous meeting are in your packet. Well, I pushed it. Okay, sorry. Minutes of the previous meeting are in your packet. Were there any additions or corrections? Do we have a motion to accept them?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Everybody in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion carries. Randall, could you give the financial statement, please?
Bet. We took in $7,000 in the past month. We've taken in $7,695.52 from the tax increment district. We've earned interest of $2,104.35 for a total income of $9,799.87. We paid the sign expense, the Welcome to Lahaina sign, $42.30. And then we made a payment on the strategic plan of $7,750. And then I think after this, I didn't reread my email from Eliza, but I think, Elisa, but I think we're set up to get the $250,000 paid to Sutherland's on there.
It's been said.
It's been sent.
Okay.
So that's going to get reflected next month.
Okay, good. Are there any questions? Okay. Project updates, Plaza Building as, I guess we need a motion to accept the treasurer's report as presented.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second that.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion carries. The Plaza Building report, we are working on the final things we have to do to get under contract with the State Historic District or State Historic Fund for our final grant from them. So it just takes so long to get the numbers that everybody is supposed to have. I don't know, it's just, but other than that, I think everything's going along well, but I don't really have any progress to report.
So when you get that final grant, is that going to be enough to get the project completed or not?
That's just the final grant from the Historic Fund.
So you're still, how much
We
we
are still going to need over $600,000. We have over $500,000 in tax credits, but we're going to need a bridge loan from the bank to do that. And then we'll still need around $100,000 to finish.
Daniel's here, sorry.
So the
What?
tax credits are something that we're going to have to sell to somebody else to get?
SCCCP will have to sell it.
Yeah, okay. Then we're going to have to, so we got to sell the tax
They've,
credits.
Jane's already made arrangements for somebody to buy them, but they can't buy them until the grant from the Historic Fund is finished. So,
Okay. And so then you're still gonna be lacking, you think, $100,000 after that. So we've got, basically the project is set up to be completed with the funds that you have, excepting needing an additional $100,000 that you gotta figure out
as of today.
as of today. Okay. Is there some time after, I don't know how much has been completed since our last tour of that
We should
facility.
have another one, shouldn't
Yeah,
we?
that's what I would like to see.
I don't think we will do it before the Brewfest is over, but maybe we could try to do it before the next meeting.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Plenty
okay.
good. Thank you.
Okay. And that's all I have to report on that. So Cynthia, you have something on grant and loan applications? Yeah, did you get, Daniel hasn't gotten the,
Daniel's here.
oh, is he? Okay, okay,
Yeah,
good.
he's here.
Thank you.
Yes, hello, hello, hello. So, yes.
Hey.
Yes. I have one question. Did we vote on the financials already?
Yes,
Yes.
We did?
I had to
Okay.
be reminded.
All right, so for the, La Junta, for the grant and loan applications, of course, nobody wanted a loan, so they all wanted grants. We initially had 5 people who contacted me and were interested. 2 of them dropped out before the application period.
Could you get a microphone, please? Because you can't hear on the video thing if you don't have a microphone.
Okay, let's see if we can
You
get
might
that.
be able to just turn it
Yeah.
down
We'll
enough that
see.
she could talk into
Okay,
it.
can you, well,
Turn it
we
on.
have it on.
Okay,
That is so
I'll try
much
and do this. This is a little weird, but we'll see if I can get this to work right. Okay, so we initially had 5 people who called me who were interested in this or emailed me, whatever, they contacted me. 2 of them dropped out because they said it wasn't really the right time for it. So after they thought about it a little bit, that's fine. You know, I said, you know, we're going to have another grant round in August or September. No problem whatsoever. If you need time thinking about how you're going to approach it, what you're going to do, I'll work with you. The other 3 did turn in applications on time, and I talked to them, all 3 of them, extensively. Okay, none of them filled out the applications to the point that, let's just put it like this, they had areas where I could, according to my instructions, reject them. I didn't do that. What I did was, I told them, I'm not rejecting you. I said, we're going to keep this in place so you don't have to reapply in August. Okay, so I'm not rejecting you. What I'm doing is I'm giving you a bullet list of all the things that need to be addressed in order for us to be able to really consider your application. So I've already gotten 1 back already, and I'm waiting for the other 2 of them to come in, okay? And I've given them to like July or June 4th or 7th or something like that. I anticipate, unless they really are not going to follow directions, that we will have 3 of them to review at the next board meeting. Okay, so I mean, it was things like, you know, you're required to prove that you have the cash match to continue. You know, we give you 25%, you're supposed to come up with the rest of the money. If you don't give me any proof on that, that was part of it for some. Some of them had, their contractors wrote bids that didn't say what they were being charged for. So I mean, it's the kind of thing, all you have to do is get an email back and forth and just say, just so that we can confirm this is for 7 lights that are going to be for this and this and this and this. So we know what we're paying for. I mean, it's things like that. And one person didn't give me, you know, pretty much anything to go on when it came to financials. Okay.
So
I would like to amend the process moving forward so that this is the process, because I think it's a great idea that you're working with people and helping them get their, you know, applications in.
thank you.
So
I think it's great that, the deadline is submitted to you. You determine if it's complete or not, and if not, you have the time to work with them. And we don't have to review it right away.
Right, right. And it's still getting it within, we said 120 days. This isn't 120 days by any stretch of the imagination. I don't want to take 100, and I wanted everyone to know I don't want to take 120 days. But if it takes me that long to get the information so that we can have a good review, so that we know that we're spending this money responsibly, that's okay. But I gave them enough information, trust me. It was, some of them it was like a page and a half of bullet points. Okay? But I think these are 3 good projects.
Great. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
What's an estimate of the time that you've spent so far with the preparing the bulleted lists in the initial review?
I spent all day on Sunday. So
Like 10 hours, 12 hours?
I would say it came out to around 9 hours.
9 hours. 9 hours for 3 apps.
But that's okay. I mean, that's
Yeah,
the reason.
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay. And, I've talked to some other people, and people aren't used to filling out applications for grants around here. I mean, think about how long it took us to get the grant application together. So, I mean, I don't think that's so. I think it's a good thing that we have standards of what we want, because I don't think they're ridiculous standards. But I think that the other part of it is that we have to give people a chance and also teach them. One of the other things that I would like to be required in this whole process is that they meet with me, or that we have a meeting before they apply if they're really serious about applying. So maybe I can answer these questions beforehand, because I really did sit in the library for, let's see, 4.5 hours, last month, waiting for people to come and ask me questions, and nobody asked me any questions.
Nobody showed up for that.
No, except the tax woman, the woman who wanted me to help her with her taxes. But that's it. That's the only person who showed up. And it might have been, I thought Saturday was convenient, not first thing in the morning, from 10:30 to noon, or I guess it was 10 o'clock to 11:30 or whatever it was, but so that people could just walk in and ask me a question or find out about the process. But that might not have been the right way to do it. We might want to have it at another time. Now, I'm not going to go to the point where I feed them lunch so that they'll come in and sit there and listen. But
That's going a little too
Yeah.
far, I think.
I mean, maybe that's what you have to do.
feed them lunch
Somebody don't come
and tap dance. No.
You got food, right?
No. But if you guys want me to feed them lunch, I'll feed them lunch.
No,
No.
I think a free or cheap loan is enough. Like I say, so the people that you knew that were interested, because you advertised that just on Facebook or something like that?
I advertised it on Facebook, and I think I did a public notice. I'd have to double check.
Yeah, you
So I'm pretty sure I paid for it because we've got the bill for it. Yeah.
That's all.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can try. There's a need out there. I mean, there's a real need. And as I said, I think that each one of these applications has great promise for blight and safety. That's the main thing. If somebody, nothing but blight and safety.
Can you give us an idea of what the 3 total up is, if they were all
Wow.
3 approvable, what the total request is?
One was slightly below the 25,000. I think the other one was right at I think the other 2 were right at 25,000. So it's a little bit short of 75. So it's not too much money, because we only have 3 applications. Okay. So next time, I hope to have, if we even have 2 that are really good, that's great. I hope to have 3 that are really wonderful. All right?
The first one will be the hardest
First round.
I don't think so.
to get it. It's already hard.
I don't think it'll be that hard to make a decision, because I'm trying to get to the point of being able to say, I support this 100%.
We have to get the people to come to us.
Oh, to get us, that's the hardest part. Yeah, that's part. Yeah, after they find there's money out there, I think they'll be coming. So, I think they will. Yes.
I missed out on what they're applying for.
we have a grant and loan program that we took 8-9 months to develop with a consultant. And these are we have 3 applicants that are asking us for money, a grant for blight and safety issues within the TIF district.
Within the Chestnut?
TIF, T-I-F, district. We okay?
And so do they have projects that they want to do with the grants?
Yes, they do have projects. I'm not really going to talk about it now because, as I said, there are things that need to be corrected within the applications, but they've not been rejected. They've not been kicked out. They're coming back. I hope to have them present their projects with my endorsement 100%, since I go through it with a fine-tooth comb, that this meets our requirements. That's the goal.
And is it projects here in Lahana?
Yes, it's within our tax increment district for urban renewal.
So that's mostly downtown type?
And there's some along Highway 50, and there's also, some that stretch down 3rd Street.
Does she have our
I'm kind of familiar with that.
What, honey?
Is it possible to get Betty our plan so that she can have a basis for what's happening?
Yes, I can send you the plan that we worked on with the consultant.
Oh, I would love to see that.
Okay.
That would give her a basis. It has the map in it, it has our goals, our
Yeah.
objectives, all the things, and that
Oh,
might just
yeah.
help you to be
And-
able to put things together as we meet here.
And I can give you the application, as well as one of the things that what I took so long with was we have a rubric that we use when we're scoring. And that's what I went through with all those little bullet points, was to make sure that it would meet the rubric. Okay? So that's what took so long.
Okay, any other questions or discussion?
And you do anticipate that the other 2 that weren't ready right now, do you think they'll apply next round, or?
Well, one of them has what I would call is a project that I have to figure out a way to fit it into blight or safety. Okay, and as you know, you can only cram it so far, or massage it, or whatever it is. So I need to make sure that it really fits within that, and have some long discussions with them, because we just talked cursorily about it. The other one, what they're doing is they're working in phases, and they did not want to use it for this phase that they're working on. But, we'll see where they are, if they get to their 2nd phase or their 3rd phase, and how they're going to approach the project.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Is that it? That's it. Okay. Let's see. Do you want me to go on to the next point, or?
Comments, you mean?
Yes, new business?
Nobody said
Okay.
they had other questions, so.
Okay, all right.
Good with that.
I was just wondering, I should keep holding this. So, as you guys know, probably, that the library is holding a training on how to start a business in English this Saturday, SBDC training. Lunch will be provided. At that, just so you know. So it gives you a great opportunity to learn the basics of how to start a business with a business plan, and also understanding how to, what kind of business structure that you would like to have, and it's a good general overview. I've heard that we're also going to have a guest that's coming in who's going to talk about how kids can start businesses. So it's sort of added on to that just came up the other day, so I'm happy with that. Now, the next week after that, June 1st, we're going to have that same training, only it will be in Spanish. All right? Lunch provided as well. I'm going to sit through it. I'm not going to understand a word, but we're trying this. We're seeing, if we do advertise to the Spanish population, will they show up for something like this? And trying to find places that we can drop flyers and stuff so that they know that this exists in the first place, because they might not be looking on Facebook. If their primary language is Spanish, they might not be looking at the Facebook pages that we usually post on. So we're trying the best we can. If we're going to do this 3 or 4 times with different trainings, just to see what happens and to try and build a following so that we can help people.
That's good.
So
At these trainings, will anybody advertise our grant program?
well, we certainly can do it since I'll be sitting there. Yes, I can do that. I can do that, and I can have handouts. Boy, do I have handouts.
Perfect.
Okay,
That'd be great.
so yeah, I made lots of handouts for the people who were all going to see me last time. So I think that will work. I also want to let you guys know, you all know, the world knows that I'm going to Ireland on June 10th. But I will be back in time for the next meeting. Okay, so don't worry about a thing. I will be back and I will be ready and I will have had time to go through those grant applications. I'm not worried about a thing about that. I do need to let you know I am not going to be attending the July meeting because I've been asked to go to a summit by the Colorado Health Foundation. So I just want to find out what they're talking about. And we've gotten the Colorado Health Foundation grant once before for $469,000. So I would like to see if, what they might want to spend money on. Yes. So I think that that's a really good thing. And I'm also presenting to CHAFA. It's a Colorado Housing and Finance Authority. They've asked me to give a presentation to them, I think it's March 31st. It's a short presentation. I know, May 31st. Sorry. Yeah, way ahead. It's May 31st. It's a short presentation, but I'm going to talk to them about what we've accomplished so far, and at the very end I'm going to talk to us about some needs. And I've talked about this before. I really want a very detailed, comprehensive downtown, not just downtown, but commercial building plan for our downtown as well as along Highway 50. I think we really need that, not just about buildings, but also about jobs, about training, about all those things that we were talking about before we started this meeting, the kinds of things that we need. So it's going to be expensive, but I think they might work with us. So we'll see about that. And the other thing, Erin just sort of reminded me, in a way, Erin finished her dashboard, economic development dashboard for the new website that's coming up on August 1st. We had to ask for an extension because we needed more time to sort of pull some things out of the city. But information. But the economic development dashboard is going to be a mainstay and it's going to be updated every quarter. And it's very nice. I've already used the data that you had in there. So yeah, somebody asked me today, how many people live in La Junta? And I said, 7,244. And he was like, how do you know that? I said, I know things from the economic dashboard that we have. So anyway, it's already very useful, very useful.
So it's public already?
Oh no, not till August 1st. Yeah, not till August 1st, because I mean we've got the laundry list of the things that we still need to pull from the city. Just to give you some idea, this is not going to be anything like the old website at all. It's going to be navigable. It's going to be translated into Spanish as well if you need it. It's also going to be ADA compatible. It's also going to have like every division and explain what they do, and also make it so that you can figure out who to go to when you need something. Like for instance, licensing. If you need a liquor license, you go to Melody. But if you need a peddler's license, you go to Elisa. Who would know that? Right? But it makes sense in the mix of things. It's just that we just need to make it known that we're doing that. We're also putting together a 411 space for services that we don't provide. So that, you know, if people are saying, I don't know what to do, my child has behavioral problems, who do I go to? What do I do if I want to start a cottage industry? What do I need to do? Well, you need to go see the county health person. You know, I mean, there's all sorts of things that it's not logical. I mean, especially unless you really are kind of a nerd when it comes to government, you really like studying those sorts of things, you wouldn't know that kind of thing.
Will the updated website include an update to our website?
Our website is getting folded into the new website. And the whole idea behind the new website is that, you know, it's really funny because people keep thinking I'm going to create a website like the old website. And every time I tell somebody to go to chooselj.com, they go, whoa, yeah, you know how to make a website. We're fine. So we're trying to pattern it off of chooselj.com, but we're folding it in so that people don't have to go to 50 different websites. The only website that's going to be independent is tourism. They spent so much money on that website. I spent like $3,500 on our website. I mean, it was a steal.
Great. For when we have our, I assume it's a sub-page or something like that on the city website.
Right.
And we're going to have the application there and the strategic plan.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, yes.
Great.
In fact, we're patterning what we do for the rest of the website basically off of the way that we set that up. Was like, what do we do? Who are we? That kind of thing. So anyway, yeah. I think we're going to be happy with it.
Good.
I hope so. I hope so. And then after August 1st, it gets transferred to Triad, which is over on 3rd Street, and they're responsible for keeping it up to date and doing all the work. So I am not a website IT person.
So then the city will have a contract with them
They have it already. Yeah.
Okay, for updates.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I already told them you need a budget.
So for clarification purposes, you're not going to be here for the July meeting, but you're going to have the hopefully three completed applications for us to consider.
In June. I will have the 3 completed applications for you by June.
Oh.
Because I gave them a deadline of June 4th or something like that, which is before I go to Ireland. I said that's when, or 6th or 5th, whatever. That's when I need it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I told you, don't let it take 120 days if I don't have to. So, okay. Any other questions on this? No? Okay.
Any governing body comments?
Yes, I'm not going to be able to make the next meeting, but I do want to have, provide my input on the applications, and so I wanted to talk with everybody about that and see how best to do that, especially given the sunshine laws, because I'm not going to be anywhere near this time zone. I'm on work travel, and so it's not going to be possible for me to participate even through Zoom.
Can't you communicate with like Cynthia or Nancy? And because
That's
it's
one
just
person to one person.
one person to one person, like, isn't that okay?
But is that okay?
That's fine. You're an employee.
Right.
So you and
I don't count.
we don't count.
I know. Okay,
So,
but it's just one person.
yeah.
Okay.
And then her comments could be shared with the rest of us as well?
Yeah.
You can include it in the
Okay.
minutes or something.
Okay.
Okay.
I think you could use the rubric.
Oh,
if you
I
want.
will absolutely, yeah.
So, and I can
Oh,
just
and then-
pass on the results of the rubric.
Okay,
Perfect.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Any other comments? You know what, I'm having surgery on the day of that meeting. I just remembered. So, yeah, June, so I won't be here either.
You want to do that too with
Yes.
the rubric? Okay.
Oh my God, yeah, I won't be here for that meeting. Mhm. Thank you, sorry about that.
Question?
Yes.
Is that Mr. Horton?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Horton.
Yeah, is it possible or is it okay to review the three ahead of time and then provide like a memo to be presented at the next meeting for those who are not going to be present, or even for those who are going to be present? Is it possible to get those three applications ahead of time before the meeting, just like we would meeting minutes, and review them and provide more comments
Yes.
They will be part of the
without offending the sunshine?
Yes, that's actually part of preparation for the meeting, okay? And you will have the rubric with you. The whole idea was that you would have that beforehand, along with my comments, okay? So that you know I've checked everything, so that you don't go, I don't know how to answer this one. I can answer it for you, okay? I'll go through it, I'll tell you why this is okay. And then the memo that can be created is after I get your comments. Maybe you see something that I really didn't see, all right? Or you feel something, and I can write a memo up about that, okay?
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Well, also for the record, we did agree as part of the strategic plan that everybody would do their due diligence before the meeting, come in having the rubric already completed so that we can discuss it as a group. For the people that are not going to be here to discuss it.
I think it might be good to have the rubric done. We can't do that because we have to have another meeting. I just don't want people to get confused when they're going through the rubric. We'll give it a try. Let's see what happens. Because you'll still have my comments.
Well, the point is to just come to the meeting prepared so that you've already reviewed the applications. You fill out the rubric to the best of your ability. If there's stuff to discuss, that's okay. You know, if there's one part of the rubric you didn't know how to answer, we can discuss that, or the group can discuss that, the board can discuss that. That's fine. And it doesn't mean necessarily we have to vote on it that day. You know, if there's just more discussion to happen, or that needs, especially being our first round and our first time with the rubric and everything like that, maybe we need 2 meetings.
And you might say, I'm sorry, this is not a rejection, but I need these answers to these questions before I can vote. So, yeah, you can take the time if you want to, but I promise you I will not sit on my rest of my laurels.
So remind me of the process. We're each going to complete the rubric either primarily before the meeting and then during the meeting, and then we're going to submit it, and then all our inputs are going to be our gradings, individual gradings, or they're going to be put into some total?
We are, yeah, but we're not going to say who voted what, when, where, or how. We're just going to give you what the results are. But at that same time, you are going to hear you're going to hear my review of each one of these using the rubric as a basis, and why I thought that they were worthy to move on to a vote. I'm not setting you up for a no, is what I'm saying. But you might say, you know what, I disagree with you. I'm not a voting member, so you can do that. But you wanted me to do the legwork beforehand.
The legwork I agree with. So are you saying you're going to grade the rubric yourself too?
I've already done it. That's how I went through in terms of figuring out what the information was that they didn't have that you needed.
Yeah.
She's just saying that her grade doesn't count.
No,
in the end.
that would be my opinion. So that's.
I'm not a
She's
voting
not a
member.
voting member of the board.
Yeah.
She's just using what we established to say this is what we're going to use to review to say if they meet it or not. So she's not giving us something that's completely missing items.
Her determining the eligibility of it, I totally agree with. The other part, we'll see. Like I said, it's a working process. We'll see how it goes.
Right.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
Well, I was going to refer to our process, which I don't have in front of me, but do we know how long we'll get with the apps and our rubric? Is it a week? Is it 2 weeks?
You know, I don't know. Do we need to send this out with the notice for the meeting, or can we send it out?
I can
before?
send the applications out sooner.
Okay, as soon as I'm getting them on like June 4th, 5th, something like that. Give me a day or two to go over them to make sure, and and then we can send you the rubric and all the rest of it. Is that okay with you? Okay.
I'll leave on June 7th.
See, this is good to know.
Okay, that's very
Yeah.
close timing.
Yeah, this is very good to know, because
It almost sounds like we
so
should
I need
cut June
to,
out of our schedule.
June is just,
June 7th, and how long are you gone, Melanie?
2 weeks, and that 7th, I think, is a Friday. And then I'll be
Yes.
back the last week for the meeting.
Okay, so I need to have everybody get everything back to me by June 6th or 5th. June 5th is better. All right, I think I gave one person to the 7th because I gave it to her on Monday, but,
We'll,
June.
we'll make it work.
Okay,
I'll make it work.
what'd you say?
Madam Chairman, I think maybe you had a good point there, because I'm not gonna be reading. Because I have a trip that's planned in advance, so the 21st, I will be.
What if we,
That's 3 people already.
All right.
yeah, what if we rescheduled the meeting so that it was the following week, the first, because I don't, with applicants that are working on their applications, I don't want to delay it too much.
I can do it the next, I'll be back.
When's the next week after that? 'Cause I
It's
think-
the 4th, July 4th.
July
July
4th.
4th?
Yeah.
Maybe we
Thursday.
could do July 5th. I mean,
Well, I was thinking in the same month, I mean, I could do the 27th, but I don't know if that's gonna conflict just the next week on that next Thursday.
That is the
last
next
Thursday.
That
is the
That is
meeting.
the next meeting,
Oh,
27th.
27th is,
is the
Okay, that's right.
What if we did it, then we bumped the meeting to July 11th?
she'll be gone.
You have the other
Not the
conference or the.
July 11th?
Oh, July, I'm sorry.
yeah, I don't think July 11th. I think it's sometime within the 20th or whatever. I was going to be gone in July anyway. Oh, you're right. Okay. I still think July 5th. It's soon enough.
July 5th is a Friday.
That's
Yeah.
a Friday after the holiday.
It's
You're
gonna
telling
be,
me nobody's going to be here?
it's gonna be hard to get
It's very
people here.
possible, yes.
Okay.
Can't we do like July 1st? Or the Monday or something like that?
Oh,
Because that's gonna be,
Well, first, second, or third.
or, yeah.
July 1st works for me.
July 1st.
I'll be joining remotely, but I'll be able to join actually.
Because I should at least be, I mean, I'm not, even though I have had my surgery, it's not major, so I should be. I just don't know how I'm gonna be the 27th. I might be goofy, but the first should be fine.
And Melanie, you said 2 weeks, so you're going to be back on like the 15th or 16th or something like that,
In
right?
June,
Yeah.
I'll be back to work on the 24th.
So if I get you everything by the 24th, you can send it out to everybody, right?
Yes, yes.
And they can
That
review
would
it on
give them a
July
whole
the
week.
1st.
Whole week, including a weekend.
It's a whole week including a
I
weekend,
like
okay?
that better than.
Okay.
So that's really, I need more than a week to review.
Yeah, a week is a bit tough.
Because I'm gonna be on travel that whole week for work.
I have remote access to my city email. So you send it whenever you think, and I can send it out.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you're telling me that you need it 7 days before then, which would be, say, June 17th?
That would be great.
Okay.
So still having a meeting on the 27th then?
No,
No.
July 1st.
July 1st.
I will send out, I'll change the notices.
Betty?
So you were actually making the grants.
We are granting the grants.
You are granting grants.
Yes, we are.
And there are 3 possible ones,
There are 3 possible applications.
25,000 apiece.
One of them's a
Approximate.
little less.
Approximately.
A little less. Just so I get the
Yeah.
idea. This is a powerful thing.
Yes.
Wait till you read the plan.
You're gonna get excited. We're good.
We're good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, just to double back for everybody, because there was a lot that happened right there. Our next meeting is Monday, July 1st. We will receive the applications no later than June 17th to review them. Everybody will have reviewed them and gone through the rubric, assigning points to the best of their ability. If there are is there anything to discuss, we will discuss it at the meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good meeting to be here.
Can't go past 2 hours.
What
That's
can't go
council.
past 2 hours?
That's council. Your meeting.
Okay.
That's fine. We'll
But,
just
yeah,
have our conversation. And
But if you come prepared.
Yep.
It shouldn't take 2 hours.
Yeah, we'll have our conversation, and if we decide we need more time, it'll be the next couple weeks later in July.
Sounds good. All right.
Okay.
Okay. I'll make sure that he's on track.
Any other governing body comments? If not, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for being here, Daniel.
Well, Daniel can stay for the second meeting.
Oh, good. Well, thank you anyway. Thank you anyway. I'm glad you're at this meeting. I'll be glad when you're at the next meeting.
Am I ready to go?
You are in trouble. Look at that knee.
See you, Randy.
I'm sorry.
I just, I was running late, because I had to go check out on the south side. The moths taking over and putting the paint on, so I'm just trying to get that stuff on.
On your wet paint?
Well, my freshly painted rooms, we have moths back in there, and they're doing whatever they do to the walls. And it's like,
I don't want to look at my front porch.
Oh, yeah, they're starting early this year.
yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah.
I got videos that just blow your mind.
Yeah.
How do you get rid of them?
Don't.
Soap water.
Don't?
Aren't they
Why?
Yeah, you're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to touch them?
Oh, no, okay. No, I was just saying that we have a moth infestation on the south side.
You have what?
A moth, a miller moth
I read it on Facebook.
infestation.
Never lies.
Really, there are millions of them.
Yeah, we have thousands of them in the building.
They're already in the building,
It's
and
already in the building.
They come from a
Yeah.
sunroom, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my gosh, what's all these frosts about? And I looked it up and I'm like, don't kill them. I'm like, oh, okay.
don't kill them.
Nobody says
Well,
That's
don't
what I
kill
read
them.
online.
Well, somebody
My
needs
cat killed.
We're still being, we're still
a
being,
whole new paint job.
Yeah, I got one more meeting, guys.
Man, I have to smell it.
That's good for you.
Okay.
All right.
Alright,
Guys, ready for attention?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
okay, I'm calling the meeting of the CLG to order, please. We'll have roll call first.
Bennett,
Present.
Caulfield, Harrison,
Present.
Horton,
Here.
Madrid,
Present.
Mason,
Present.
Monroy,
Present.
Swiker.
Present.
And the minutes of the previous meeting were in your packet. Are there any additions or corrections? Do we have a motion to accept them as presented?
I make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
And a second.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. The financial statement, I think, is right here on the agenda. But do you want to say it out loud, Cynthia?
We still have $7,000. They're having difficulty getting money from the feds that will fund our grant, so we don't have the cash match. We haven't paid out the cash match for that yet. So that's the reason there's $7,000 remaining. Okay, they're having me fill out some other little pieces of paper and things like, yeah. So, oh, you can't hear. Okay.
So the $7,000 remains. The feds have not given the money to the Office of Archaeology and Historic Preservation so that they can create a grant contract with us. So we're still waiting, but they've sent me some little pieces of paper that want to show that we're ready and that we're, that's what you have to do for a federal grant. So $7,000 remains.
Are we worried about getting the rest of it?
Oh, heavens no.
Okay.
I just have a question. Madam
Okay.
Chair. So once we do the cash match, will we have a balance left over, or will that wipe out the 7,000?
We said we would put in 5,000.
Okay.
So that leaves 2,000.
Okay.
Okay, and that 2,000 might be able to be used for. She's giving a nefarious look over there. We'll let Tony finish that sentence.
Okay.
Okay.
Historic walking tour. Some support, right?
Do you want to go ahead with that, and then we'll go back to Trevor?
Okay, so we did meet again, well, I guess it was last Wednesday. And I didn't bring my glasses, darn it. I have a list, and hopefully I have it right. Opera House, Fox Theater, Malif Building, H.W. Potter Building, the Garage by Lucy's Tacos, the First Baptist Church at Calvary, the Mason Theater, Woolworth Building, Oddfellows, First Presbyterian Church, First Church of Christ, Chestnut Building, Sherman and Elbera Building, and the post office. Does that sound right, Amy? That's what I wrote down. And Maureen was going to get a list and minutes and all, but she had an emergency and couldn't get that to me. The plan is we kind of divvied up some activities or some things that we're each going to do. I'm going to write a script of 400 words and try to get like Ed Stafford just to do a dry run of what that might sound like. And Amy's going to put together some pictures. Maureen's working on a list and a map. We are going to start with just like one block that might have 4 or 5 and just try a dry run of just 4 or 5 and kind of walk through and see how it feels. So I can't think of anything else and kind of do it in phase 1 will be 1 block, phase 2 we might then add a block and then just start to see how it flows. There was some talk about posting or something at the train station so that people can say, like it says walking tour this way with a QR code, and if they have time, they know to walk this way and start checking out different buildings with good codes. That's the thought. Also, I think we were trying to do a hard copy pamphlet potentially to be at the chamber, so that people can pick that up and then do it at their leisure versus, and they'll have something to take away.
And
So-
I would love it on our website as well, and I'll tell you why. Because I think this could be used in the schools.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So anyway, that's how we only had like 3 people there, Amy. So we didn't have a lot of participation at this meeting. We have another meeting scheduled, but we had it for June 1st or June 3rd, but that isn't going to work, so we're going to have to reschedule. But we wanted to have it maybe potentially at my office so that we could actually get out and walk around and see what that felt like even though we don't have a QR code or anything like that. But of course, the survey is going to provide us with the words, and we'll get something creative going that way. So I think we're moving ahead very well, I think. I think we think. Anyway, I don't know if other people agree, but we think we're moving ahead.
I think it's a great project. I'm glad you're doing it.
It's fun and it's scary, but I hope my brain says it's going to be perfect, but who knows?
It will be.
But any questions about
So do you need some funding?
Potentially, I don't know. We don't know what it's going to cost. This is being primarily put together by Rotary, which, we may have some money, but yeah, certainly we could always use funding for, something, whether it's a pamphlet or the technology part of it.
QR code.
The QR codes and how that'll, I don't have any idea
The
about that.
visuals.
Yeah, so, but we haven't got quite there yet. But it's exciting, and I can see it working, and I've been walking around and doing the walking tour for 2 months now, so in my head. So anyway,
What's the survey you mentioned?
So Cynthia, there was an historic survey done and there's a lot of narrative about each of
The one we went
Yeah,
to.
absolutely. Okay,
there's,
yes.
and based on some of that, then we'll, I'm not a creative writer, but
We'll
maybe
use that.
with somebody in the community, we could
Cool.
put some creative words on paper and have one of our people read it, and then that's how we're gonna start. So Ed Stafford, just being a friend, I'm sure, I haven't reached out to him yet, Ed, if you're listening. But someone to read it and, bring it to life theatrically, maybe, bring it to life. I mean, I'm excited about it.
You can use the text that's in the survey.
Oh, yeah.
It's not, I think it's not that dry.
No, I
No,
think
no.
it's interesting.
We own it,
Mhm.
so you can use it.
And I think I mentioned last time that Maureen thought that we could use the college sound area to maybe dub in music or, something behind that, you can, kind of get the feeling of it. So, anyway, any other questions? All right, sorry.
No.
Circling back, do we need to vote on the financial statement?
Oh,
I make a motion to accept the financials as presented.
Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries. The Colorado Lynching Memorial, Trevor, do you and Tony have anything?
No, not yet. So I
we had a meeting at the
yeah, we talked
earlier.
about it earlier. No. My semester is over now, so I can devote way more time now. So, and that's been kind of my held, being held up from that. But I plan to go full force this starting week. So, if anyone has time, I remember Lily, you said you'd like to chime in on that, and
I'd
Daniel
like to
also
help.
reached out as well. I only have one question though. So, one of the people that you mentioned is a party to that lynching. So, I don't know how we're gonna include that. Does that make sense?
It does make
In
sense.
the walking tour?
The plotter?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that, I don't know how that's gonna affect that, or
I
if
don't
it
know.
even.
I mean,
something to be
it's a
mentioned.
thought that I hadn't, that's something I hadn't thought about, and certainly if we.
No, I'm not saying I'm not saying
History's
either way. I was
history.
just saying
History's
it's
history,
it's
yeah.
part of the history. So maybe there's another avenue there as well. So
And
tell the full story, right?
according to how we have it laid out, at least initially for this phase one, that block would not probably come in until phase two.
Okay.
That's kind of how I envision it and how I recall the discussion going. So, maybe we can work that out before we, but like Lily said, history is history, whether it's ugly or.
Yeah. Well, and I see some positives there that maybe could
Well,
take us a different direction.
Education
Yeah.
is vital, and that's one of the major things
So
why we're doing all
depressing.
of
I
this.
think people have
Pushed it
hidden
away.
it.
Yeah. Well, bad history is uncomfortable, right? So.
Right.
But I think there's some positive things that can come out of this.
Something that
Yes,
should be learned.
definitely.
Well, in the walking tour, potentially it could be cross-pollination, so that, when we get to that building in the walking tour, it can also point you to the
Yeah.
lynching
Oh, yeah.
spot.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
Tell the full story. On the lynching memorial, I think if you're up for it, it would be good for us to meet separately, like a little group of us.
Yeah, good,
And
definitely.
we can hatch a plan and
Okay.
get to work.
Actually, I don't know what works for you, but tell me some dates and we can come up with the time. You have a date that works best for you, or?
I mean,
I know you have a busy schedule, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, we can, after this, we can
Yeah.
compare calendars and
Okay.
find some
I'm
times.
definitely open to that. That way, like I said, more heads are better than one, So, figure, I think you're gonna help out too. Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
love to.
Yes. Make it a community effort. That's all I have.
Okay, any other questions or comments about that? CLG director comments?
I just had one. I have had an epiphany, seriously, in the past week. I've been doing some research on using substitute windows in a historic building.
And so I called up, you know, not even wood windows, but combination of you know, wood and some other materials. I called the Office of Archaeology and Historic Preservation, and I said, and I showed our survey that we had done on this building, and I said, how would you feel about this building receiving tax credits, one, if they changed out the windows, and two, I would like to know what your take is on whether or not it would be at least eligible for the state register. And they said yes to both. I mean, there are conditions to it, okay, in terms of how you set the window in, but they were fine as long as it looks basically like the historic windows. And that's a major change. And remember we were at that in Boulder?
Yep.
And there were fights between the people who said, you guys are being too strict, you're being too crazy. And then the other people who said, you give away that integrity, you've given away everything.
Well, that's part of it, definitely.
But that's not the way they're going. The people who make the decisions are basically opening things up. And I think part of it has to do with the price of preservation.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, because it's much more expensive to do something like that. I would still ask somebody who is going to use an alternative to save at least one of the windows so that you know what it looked like, how it was made, you know, that kind of thing in the future. I think that that's a reasonable thing to request.
So I have a question. So in the charter it says, or like kind, so as long as it's made out of the same material, is that what they're going with this? Or they're saying they're not worried about that anymore?
They're not doing that anymore.
Okay.
I'm going to ask them for some materials that backs up. I'm not trying to be difficult. It's just I spent 25 years memorizing all those preservation
Well, not
briefs.
just that.
And now they don't mean much.
Well, it's also too that if you start losing that integrity, it might just snowball into other things, and so.
But they're okay with it.
What's going to be left, right?
These are the people who run the state, okay, and they're getting the National Park Service is basically telling them what they can and can't do because, you know, it's a whole preservation tax program and things like that. It's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to get preservation tax credits on, you know, a historic building, and then, you know, also to be eligible for the State Historical Fund. So, and I thought that we, as having the ability to local landmark something, we should know this before we go, absolutely not.
Well, I'm all in favor of new technology as long as it can, you know,
convey the same,
the same message. So I'm all for that.
Right.
Hey, may keep the building dry for longer, right?
May, I don't know. I just was like, my universe has changed.
Yeah.
It's just like electric or plumbing. I mean, that's updated. You're not using electric or plumbing.
Right. No, I hope not.
Well, there was
I do have some tubing now, but we won't tell anyone.
There was a push to keep the same windows or restore them because, you know, it fell with the historic conveyance. But, I mean, as we go, some of those windows, they don't last very long even after they've been restored. So I get the argument. It makes sense. So.
Right.
Yes.
So, anyway, that's my epiphany.
Was there a specific property you were reaching out about?
Yes, but I don't want to say anything about it yet.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mum's the word.
They're sealed. Okay.
And that was your only comment?
That's my only comment.
For mine as well.
Yeah, I know.
Are there governing body comments?
Just noting that I won't be here for the next meeting if it is held in June.
Because this
I think we're all going to have a conflict.
Daniel, do you have anything you want to say?
No, but well, I guess yes. Ever reach out if you need any help with the project, okay?
Yeah, I sent you a message the other day, but I don't know if you received it. But I'll get back with you. I'll send you a number.
No doubt.
Awesome.
Okay, anything else? Then this meeting is adjourned.
Wow, that was
That's too short.